Well, Drew, another eve of a season. Are you a kid on Christmas Eve now?
Excited that we've gotten through an off season where I felt like we got good work in. Watch the team come together, watch some guys start to fill some roles that are going to be important for us this year, and now it's time to start to play for keeps again, which is when it gets fun.
We've had the prognostications, but this seems to be a deep and talented team. What's your thoughts on how deep and talented you guys are?
Listen, you always pray that you can stay healthy, but to know that you've got guys that are ready, willing, and able to step in, in the event that guys go down, or it just gives you flexibility to do more things. You can have more packages on defense, you can have more packages on offense. You can mix and match some more, and those are all advantages.
Drew, do you know which team you had the best quarterback rating against last year?
No, I don't.
This one.
Okay.
Any thoughts on what you were able to do against them?
No, I mean, listen, they're a very good defense, and as you look at them, especially down the stretch last year, every game they played was close, and unfortunately, for them they fell short in some of those, but man, they were right there at the end of a lot of those games, and so we know how competitive this team is, regardless of what their record said last year. I know that they're a prideful group. They've got a lot of really good players on defense. They went out and made some pretty significant moves, through free agency and the draft, D-line, secondary, that kind of thing. So, and that linebacking core is as good as there is in the league, in my opinion. So, it's going to be a tough test for sure.
What are the things that make Gerald McCoy special?
I trained with Gerald, have for the last, feels like 10 years, out in San Diego, and he's a workhorse. He's a guy who's got a real high motor. All the time, whether it's obviously I think he gets a lot of notoriety as being a pass rusher. Lots of sacks, lots of tackles for loss and such. Throughout the season, but man, he's a force to be reckoned with. I think in the run game and at all times. He's just one of those guys that. Is an elite player at his position, amongst other guys in the league. And so always a guy you got to have a plan for.
Drew, what does Teddy bring to the quarterback room?
He's I love his demeanor. It's my first time around him, really. Met him, I think, right around Super Bowl time, when he was coming out into the draft. And so that was my only real significant time with him, other than just kind of saying, hey, after a game or before a game. I've been impressed with just his ability to pick up the offense. Real intelligent guy. Just watching him from afar, respect what he was able to do there in Minnesota. During his 2 years as starter. His first action was against us back in, was that 14? Matt Castle gets hurt. He comes in, plays well, and then really plays well during that season, and leads him to the playoffs the next year, and then gets hurt. So when he's had the opportunity, he's made the most of it. I think he's a good fit, for us, for this offense. And he's a guy that fits our locker room too.
We know Sean addressed the week one woes that you have had here
Yeah.
the last few years. Why is it so important to?
I mean, start fast. It's confidence. It's it just puts you ahead. Otherwise, you feel like you're always playing catch up. And we don't want to be in that position. We've been in that position all too often in years past, and so we're ready to turn over a new leaf and start things fast.
Drew, kind of a broad question. I know you guys get to third down tomorrow, but what do you do to improve on those third down numbers from a year ago? What have you worked on, and what are some of the things you guys think you can improve on?
Well, I think getting into third manageable situations is, a key priority, because you just look at it league-wide and for us statistically, if you're in third and, 6 or less, it's a lot better than being in third and 8+, right? So, that is important, which means first and second down efficiency, which means running the football, which means, just taking positive plays when they're there on first and second down. And then just, making plays, exploiting matchups, each game is a little bit different based upon how a team's going to play you and that kind of thing. But, do what we know how to do and get into third manageable situations.
How hard is it to win 11 games in this league, and how hard would that be to do again?
Oh, of course it's hard. You look at every season and you know that at least half of your games are going to come down to a final possession. And if you win a majority of those, then typically those are the playoff teams, right? And certainly that's the way it's been with us around here in our playoff years. So, developing that confidence, being able to win those types of games, having that type of poise in those situations, and just knowing what wins football games. Those are all important things. Those are things that you have to reestablish with your identity each and every year.
Drew, did you know much about Mike Gillislee before he came in?
You know, just obviously I was aware of the trade, you know, when they acquired him from Buffalo in New England last year. And so, you know, saw him on tape last year. You know, we played similar opponents, being that we played that division last year. So I remember seeing him on film and listen, I think everybody watches the moves New England makes, right? You know, and so I think you immediately respect the fact that, you know, they wanted to acquire a guy like that. I think they traded for him, you know, so, you know, there was a desire to have a guy like that there, you know, which, you know, typically they're putting together a winning formula up there. So I think he'll bring a good element to it, you know, for us.
Seeing the running back depth chart as it stands today,
Yep.
Alvin being the only guy who was here even before a week ago, does that just stress the emphasis on how important of a player he is to this offense?
Alvin? Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's extremely versatile, can do a lot of things. I mean, you guys watched his maturation process as the year went on last year, and you know, once we were able to open up the offense and, you know, him and Mark started rolling. So, yeah, obviously I'm sure he's going to be a big point of emphasis for everybody that we play, you know. But you know, getting him opportunities and allowing him the chance to, you know, make some plays is important.
Do you think Alvin's ready to do more in the passing game? And also, how does his second year in the offense, plus the additions of Meredith and Tre'Quan Smith, affect the overall package for passing?
So with Alvin, I mean, listen, I feel like he was already a big part of the passing game, you know. So nothing's changed there, you know. We do a lot with a lot of different personnel groups, you know. Each and every week I'm sitting there looking at, you know, about 30 or 35 different personnel groups or more. So we rotate in guys all over the place. And so it's about, you know, creating mismatches. It's about creating confusion for the defense. It's about, you know, trying to put the ball in the you know, your playmaker's hands in space, you know, with the ability to make plays. So, you know, guys like Cam Meredith is coming along. You know, he missed a lot of the offseason just coming off the knee, and then into training camp. You know, we're just continuing to get that time together and develop that trust, confidence, chemistry, that kind of thing. Tre'Quan's gotten a ton of reps, you know, from training camp until now. So I think both those guys, as we move along here, will become an integral part of what we do.
As far as that week one stuff, I guess obviously if you could pinpoint, you wouldn't have the track record you guys do, but is there anything you've learned about what you guys want to concentrate on?
Well, I think it's, you know, you grind in camp, right? You grind. I mean, there's an element of toughness. There's an element of, you know, survival to a degree, you know, getting through camp. I mean, you got to develop an identity, you know, and so there's the balance, though, between that and then, all right, once you start getting ready for the season, it's, you know, let's make sure that we are in the best position to go out and succeed, you know, week one. And so I feel like Sean's done a really good job of giving us time to take care of our bodies, recover from, you know, what was a tough competitive training camp, and now get ready to go out and be our best, you know, for week one.
Was there anything different about the grind for you this year?
No, not really. I mean, I got a ton of reps, which is great. You know, I mean, I'm a rep guy. I like getting reps. So for me, it's you know, every year is about, all right, watching the pieces kind of fall into place, and you know, you know, who'd you lose, who did you gain, you know, and then where do they fit in, and just getting the time with them.
And I feel like this comes up with running backs where, you know, if they don't have as many carries the year before, then they come in feeling pressure. And you didn't throw as many passes last year as in, you know, a lot of previous years. Is that the case at all with you?
I mean, I feel like I'm 25 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Drew, only two tailbacks on the roster today.
Yeah.
Is that a little weird for a Wednesday before an opener?
No, I mean, I think we, from week to week, have the ability to do a lot of things, you know, and it's just depending upon health, depending upon, you know, matchups, depending upon who we're playing and that kind of thing. But no, I don't. I mean, normally you'd have three, but I think we're in a position where we can still mix and match and do a lot of things.
Hey, Drew, last question, guys. Zach was telling me about Sunday Sean, your head coach.
Sunday Sean, okay.
The different
Game day Sean?
mentality. Yeah, game day Sean.
All right.
Have you ever played for a coach like that that's so amped up on game days and intense the way he is?
I mean, listen, Marty Schottenheimer was intense, but he was intense all the time. You know.
Sean's different during the week, right?
Yeah. Sean kind of flips the switch on game day. You know, I don't know. We all flip the switch to a degree on game day. You know. So, whereas, you know, you just know you might get an earful
Right.
on the sideline. I don't know. I guess everybody's ready for it. It makes for some funny moments on Monday when you can tell stories.
Yeah, is he unique in that regard as far as flipping the switch during the week? And
Yeah, I mean it's I just call them highly competitive. You know, you just put certain guys that, man, you get in competitive situations or just those moments, those circumstances, and it's just like bang, you know, here we go, we're cranking it up, we're turning it on, and you just kind of go to another place.
I assume you like that.
Oh yeah.
You like playing for a coach like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of fire, a lot of passion there.